is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours, keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
All right, here we go, everybody. Welcome back. PWCC Weekly Hockey Auction Ending Watch Party. It is February the 4th, 2024. My name is Jeremy Lee, and I am glad to welcome back, as always, on this show, for I think the 42nd time, Mr. Josh Madigan. How are you, bud?
I'm awesome. Happy Sunday. No football today, so lots of time and attention to be placed on hockey cards, I guess, huh?
No football today, but we had the All-Star game weekend, the NHL All-Star weekend. Did you take in any of that this week, Josh?
Kind of. It didn't really interest me. I am pleased with how the skills competition went. I think adding the $1 million prize got people interested, but I generally think that All-Star games are more for kids than they are adults, and the whole format of 4 teams picking your friends and your teammates wearing a Justin Bieber jersey, I don't know, it just didn't do a lot for me.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that Bieber was there. I mean, maybe that'll bring some attention to hockey. You know, I don't mind Bieber's music, I'll admit it, but you know, he's a celebrity of no doubt, and he's Canadian, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully he'll bring some attention to it south of the border. It's always nice to grow the sport and the hobby in the US. But I'm with you, sort of. I haven't been interested in All-Star games for quite some time, and I'm glad to hear this news that they're going to go to a new thing where every second year they're going to do like a best-on-best tournament. I think that's really cool, and they also announced that the NHL players will be participating in the 2026 and 2030 Olympics. That's big news. That's great news. I think it's 2024 is the last time that the NHL players appeared in the Olympics. And man, I mean, that is like when we talk about GOATs and we talk about, you know, who's the best and all this, it's nice to know, okay, you can win an Art Ross trophy, you can win a Hart trophy, you can win the Stanley Cup, you can win a Conn Smythe trophy, but did you win international competition? And that's where like Sidney Crosby has a leg up on everybody else. He's just won it all. So it'll be great to see them in the Olympics, and it'll be really good if Crosby and McDavid and Bedard are all on the same team amongst you know, McKinnon and everybody else too. So I think that'll be cool. What about? But the one thing that concerns me, Josh, those Americans, they are. I don't know if I don't feel like Canada is the dominant nation in hockey anymore. I think the Americans have. I mean, they're just so good. So many great players down there.
Yeah, it does coincide nicely with the rise of USA Hockey. But being fatalist, Troy and I are convinced we're going to blow it, even if we are favorites. So, you know, we're the program of mediocrity. You're the program of excellence there in Canada. It does bring up that whole interesting debate, though, between the concept of the CHL as a development vehicle versus the U.S. National Development Team, and how it seems like the United States has gotten a leg up, especially in the last 5 years, and how Canada now is starting to make adjustments to that whole format. Like, I think one of the things I heard is that you might now be able to be eligible to play collegiate hockey after playing in the CHL too. In the United, you won't be automatically declared a professional at that point. And that's where I'm really interested to see if Canada makes adjustments to their development program, because with the U.S. National Development Team, you're literally getting the 20 best American players on the same team, working with each other, practicing against each other, developing that chemistry every day, versus in the CHL, you're spreading out the best 20 players in Canada over hundreds of players and tons of teams.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. The U.S. has come a long way in recent years, and I'll be excited to watch like the Olympics in 2026. The hockey, it's going to be awesome. What is up, 2 Cent Hockey Cards? Welcome to the show, Michael. What's up, Pino Chiappetta? What is going on, Pino? Good to see you. Andrew, happy Sunday. 90s hockey collectors, what is up? 86 USA, USA. They're going to be good. Peeps, what's going on? Michael says that Canada's problem is goaltending. Yeah, I mean, that never used to be our problem. I think that is going to be our problem. New York Davey, Hughes brothers, right? I mean, so many good American players. Says Team Canada would have to be the favorites. I wonder. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how good Bedard is in a couple years. Maybe he'll be the difference. And if especially McDavid is still peaking at that time. What's going on, Gary? Welcome to the show. Craig, hello to you. Jacob Dull, what's happening? The professor is here. Davey says should bring the international size rinks to the NHL. How do they do that now? Rebuild all the buildings, take away seats? I don't know if we're going to see that. We will not see that. There's just absolutely no way. But it would be cool if we did. Lucas, what's going on? Sunday Fun Day. T-Dot, what's going on? Good to see you, T-Dot. All right, guys, we're going to start looking at these auctions. There's 192 hockey cards. We have 66 of them starred. As I've been doing recently, guys, I'm going to share my affiliate link in the chat right now. If you are going to be bidding on any cards tonight, I will ask you to go to the chat, copy that link, and paste it into your browser. And that has a little tracking thick code or whatever. And that means that Sports Cards Live will receive a small commission if you end up buying cards. And it's actually worked out okay so far. There's been a few of you who've been doing that, and I greatly appreciate it. And I ask you to keep on doing it. It's wonderful, and it shows PWCC that we're doing something special here on the channel. So thank you for that. Okay, Josh, shall we start looking at these cards?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So 66, as I mentioned, are favorited. 22 minutes until all access extended bidding starts. And there's a lot of cards in this auction. I found the theme, Josh, I don't know if you went, I know you did. You went through this auction. The theme that I take away from this week's PWCC hockey auction, there could be two themes. One of them is Leon Draisaitl. There's a lot of Draisaitl cards in this auction. And the other one are these Spectrum cards down here. There's a ton of like this one right here. These SP Authentic Spectrum Golds. There are lots of them. And if you like these, you can pick up the Crosbys, the Ovechkins. I think the Draisaitl's tonight. They're all here. So right here's two more right there. Crosby from 2017. Crosby from, two 2017 Crosbys are in the auction. These are out of 50. There's Crosby from 2018. There's Crosby from 2019. There's Crosby from 2020. Ovechkin from 2020. Draisaitl. My point is, if you were thinking about these Spectrum cards, tonight's a night where you could pick off a whole bunch of them. But let's start at the top. Those are the two themes. Josh, any preliminary comments before we start getting into these cards?
I agree with you. Lots of Leon cards, which is great because I am a huge fan. But I'm just looking forward to getting into the cards. So let's go.
Let's do it. Okay, so guys, 1962 Parkhurst, Gordie Howe, PSA 8. Beautiful card. It's one of these cards where I look at it and I mean, when I say beautiful card, the condition is great. These early 60s Parkhurst, they don't seem difficult to find in like that 7-8 condition. There seems to be a nice amount of them out there. I don't personally think the aesthetic, the design of this card is beautiful, maybe mostly because this plain white background behind the puck. I do like how they superimpose the silhouette of Gordie Howe over the black puck. If that Red Wings logo was red instead of just white, that would be kind of cool. Hey, Josh, but if there would have been some more detail or art design in the background, I think I'd like it more, but it doesn't really matter if I like it or don't. It's still an important Gordie Howe card from the Gordie Howe run from 1962 Parkhurst, and it's in great shape. We have a PSA 7 O-Pee-Chee Wayne Gretzky rookie. Let's take a look at this one. And at first glance, okay, centering, side to side, centering is off, top to bottom, looks very good. And as I just kind of look at this thing from a distance, the color is really nice. The registration is very, very good, which, I love. Corners and edges look very nice. I think this is overall a very nice 7. Did they give it eye appeal? They didn't. And I think that's right because of the centering. Corners look great. Edges are wonderful. Absolutely beautiful edges. Beautiful corners. I'm almost wondering, is it just the centering that brings this down to a 7? Maybe this could have been a 7.5, but maybe the centering keeps it from being that. So I like this for a 7. Again, watch for the centering, though. The centering is going to throw some people off, as it should. But I think overall, a very clean 7, sitting at 3,100 right now. And then a Topps Ray Bourque rookie card, 1980, with the black still intact. You can see it's lightened up a bit, but that's just the way they are. This is a very nice card. This is one of, 2 cases where from the 80s where I personally own the Topps rookie of the player, and Bourque is one, and Joe Sakic from 89 is the other. I love the Bourque card personally because it's different than the O-Pee-Chee. It does have this black covering on it. Centering is okay. It is off to the right. So, the centering on this card is no better than this Gretzky here. I don't, maybe a little bit. Okay, maybe it's a little bit better. Maybe it's a little bit better, actually. So not bad. It's a nice 9 overall, I would say. Josh, what did you think of these cards?
I've always been thinking for a long time about the 1962 Parker set. And I think today I had a personal epiphany while you were talking as to why I can't wrap my head around this set. And I think that it's almost like a surrealist depiction where you have a hockey puck that is like 20 times larger than the player. It's just really kind of strange. And I'm not saying bad, strange, but I think that's where I honestly I can't make up my mind whether I like these cards or I don't. Do you have cards like that where even after years and years, you just can't make up your mind whether you like them or you don't? They just kind of befuddle you.
I mean, I'm gonna say not really. Like this one, I just don't love the looks of it. But when you ask me that question, what comes to mind for me is the 1963 Topps Pete Rose rookie with those little circle heads, the 4 of them, and it's yellow and it's red, and a lot of people don't like it. And that's one where I love it. I love how wacky it is. I don't love this one though. Like that one, even though a lot of people would prefer this design to the 63 Topps Pete Rose, I love the Pete Rose. I don't love this one.
Mm-hmm. And then on the Gretzky, and I think what I've learned probably from doing this show is I don't have the pop count in front of me. I should have had it, but there's so many of these cards that if you're in the market for, or I look at a PSA 7 as just like a price band almost. It's just a range in price. And there's got to be over 1,000 of these, I would guess. And so it's just a matter of finding the one PSA 7 that speaks to you, where the trade-offs work in your personal preference favor, I guess. And so it's really almost hard for me to have an opinion one way or the other, unless there's obvious things that we'll catch from time to time, maybe where we disagree with the grade. But yeah, it's a fine PSA 7 copy of the card.
It is. I think what you said, that all makes sense to me. It is a population 1,342, and there's only a 1,289 higher than a 7 in O-Pee-Chee in PSA holders, which puts this in the top 2,600 or so copies. Which, when you think of how many Gretzkys are out there, that's almost like a drop in the bucket. 2,600. When I think there's like 10,000 Topps and 10,000 O-Pee-Chees that have been graded, or it's more than that now. So but you're right. There's 1,342 PSA 7s out there. This one's pretty nice, despite the off-centeredness, in my opinion. Yeah, in my estimation. T-Dot says registration is very important on the Gretzky. 100% agree with that. On the Bourque, he says the black covering is nonsense. I guess that's one way to explain it, as nonsense. It was what they did back in the day. Boston Swayman says the 62 Howe almost reminds me of a sticker design as opposed to a card.
I can see that.
Me too. I see that too. Astute comment, Boston Swayman. Peep says, I'd rather a low-grade centered copy of the Wayne Gretzky rookie. Yeah, me too. I have a 4 I love. I'd take over this one myself as well. T-Dot likes this card, though. And JH wants to know, what's the deal with Panini Prism Hockey? Yeah, they only made him for 2 years, 2012 and 2013. And, the golds are very popular. They kind of run the same as the basketball does in terms of like hockey collectors do care about Prism from those couple years back then. Peep says, funny how the scratch off element makes for tougher grading though on the board. I love that scratch off element on there because I remember having these as a kid and scratching them off the odd time I'd find the Topps cards. Okay, next row, we have a Yari Curry, a PSA 10 OPG rookie, right beside a Paul Coffey PSA 9 OPG rookie, and we have a Steve Yzerman PSA 9 OPG rookie. The star of the show here is the Curry. It is do we have the pop here? It doesn't give us the population, but what is interesting to note is that it does have the exceptional eye appeal rating, and that is something special. Let's open these up. Josh, I'm guessing you are looking for pops. Is that right?
Yeah, I can get. Can you let me see the number real quick? The cert number.
Yeah. Here you go. So while Josh is looking at the cert, we're gonna look at the card. This thing is really nice. You can tell it's O-Pee-Chee cut for sure. Great color. Great centering. Centering is is the centering perfect? It might be absolutely perfect. Corners are sharp. Edges are beautiful. It's a great copy. I completely agree with the eye appeal assessment on this one. Josh, did you get the pop?
Yeah, 32, and there's 1,103 that were submitted to PSA.
32, so less than like 1/3%, I believe, or 3%, I guess, less than 3%. That's amazing. Only 32 of these. I mean, no one scored more points with Wayne Gretzky than Yari Curry did, and I believe that's still a fact. Anyway, yeah, great card, Hall of Famer. You know, the second best Finnish player of all time behind only my favorite Teemu Selanne. And that's a great card. The Paul Coffey, let's take a look at the Coffey. This is a PSA 9. This looks really good too. I think the centering is it's a little bit to the right, maybe a little bit high as well. That bottom border looks thicker than the top. But other than that, a very strong 9, like a really strong 9 from what I can see here. And then the Yzerman, PSA 9 Yzerman. This one's got the real rough cut here on the left that is not uniform with, the bottom of that edge, the bottom edge, or the top edge. Centering wise, it is to the right. I can't tell if there's tilt. I don't think so, actually. I don't think there's tilt on this one. Something feels off about it to me. Maybe it's this rough cut up here. I'm not the centering. Maybe there is a bit of clockwise tilt, a little bit. Something I'm not really, just don't feel like I'm seeing this card well right now, which is strange, but registration's pretty good. It's not perfect. You're seeing a little bit of a gap between the pink here and the black border. You see a sliver of white coming down there. You see a sliver of yellowy orange right through here. You see the white right there. Really nitpicking here, guys. This is, to me, below average 9 at best, in my opinion, right there. Josh, what do you think of these three?
Love the Curry. Awesome card, and would love to have one. Pretty good value right now where it sits. It's sold as high as 3,700. I think last sale was 2,400, so I may be pretty close, maybe to where it's typically sold. I was just looking at to me, the Yzerman, Jeremy, it feels like it's too wide almost, like that there's too much card, and maybe it's just because it's off centered and a little bit of that frame makes it look thicker than it should be. Doesn't it seem like there's too much white border?
Yeah, on the right side for sure. Something feels off. I'm not saying it's inauthentic or anything like that. I'm just saying something when I look at this. I don't love this copy at all for some reason, for a 9 even. Yeah. So, okay, let's keep on rolling though. Let's keep on rolling. We have a 84 O-Pee-Chee Gretzky Goal Leaders PSA 10, and these are cool. Josh, would you mind checking the pop on this one as well? Because these are cards that they don't go into the basic Gretzky registry run. They're in more the master or the expanded, where you are looking for not just the base cards, but these are cool cards still. Pack pulled. They're not hard to find, but they're hard to find in Gem Mint PSA 10 slabs. And this one, Josh, let me know when you have the pop.
74.
I'm really curious.
It's a 74.
74. So, it's not in the 20s or 30s, but 74, still pretty low overall. We have a O-Pee-Chee Mario Lemieux rookie PSA 9 above average eye appeal on this one. And let's take a peek at this card. Looks really nice. Really nice. Like those edges are beautiful. The bottom left corner, I don't know if that's a perfect 90-degree angle, but it wouldn't really bother me. Top right corner has a bit of fray coming off it, but the centering on this card appears to be really good. I think, yeah, really top to bottom, really good. Side to side, maybe it's sitting a hair to the right, but overall, that card looks pretty nice to me for a PSA 9. And then I also wanted to look at these. Similar to this Gretzky over here, pop 70-something. This Mario Lemieux from 89 O-Pee-Chee, it's commemorating him winning the Art Ross Trophy that year for most points in the season. And we just don't see these very often I don't see them anyway. Josh, can you check the population on this as well? I'm curious to know because Mario Lemieux is worthy of collections. I'm sure there are people that are working on the Mario Lemieux, the run, the O-Pee-Chee run, the Topps run, at least from 85 till 90 or so. And this would fit in there. Josh, do you know the pop on this one yet?
48.
48. Pretty low. It is off center to the left. You guys, that's pretty obvious to me. Top to bottom, centering looks quite perfect. Not the prettiest card overall. He's kind of faded in the picture. He's kind of, I don't know, not the best pick. And actually, it's not a bad picture. It's an action shot, but I don't know, something about all this ice. I just don't love the looks of the card overall. Nonetheless, an important card, a sort of important card for people who are working on collecting Mario Lemieux. Josh, any thoughts on these?
I'm not a huge fan of the sort of like the extra Gretzky type card from the 80s, but I do like that particular one. So if I was a Gretzky collector, I think that's one I'd be interested in. The Lemieux is a beautiful card. You're right. There may be some tiny corner issues that prevent it from being a 10, and PSA is going to be incredibly picky on a 10 for this card anyways, to whether you think they control population or not. And I sort of think they do. And then on the Mario Lemieux there, I'm a little bit, boy, I don't know if I see a 10 on this. I think it's off centered, and the print quality, it seems faded to me just all throughout the card.
And it might be, I don't know. I don't.
It could be an image too. You never know.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think it's just the image is a very bland looking image. Peep says that blue border on the 89s make it tough to 10. Sure does. Name has joined us. Welcome, Name. Good to see you, buddy. Happy Sunday to you. Peep says that Curry must be super low on a 10. Yeah, 32, Josh. Confirmed. Yeah. Cass 99 says beautiful Curry card. Just don't like that particular O-Pee-Chee year's design. But but it's all you can choose. It's all you can choose from, Artifacts and SB Authentic and Ice and Premier and all these things. It's all you get back then, Cass. I hear you. Not my favorite design, but it's one that is like burned into my brain forever. So I still like it for what it is. Okay, let's move on to the next row because we got a lot to get through, and we are already 5 minutes away from extended bidding. Here is the 1990 O-Pee-Chee Wayne Gretzky All-Star card. So not his main base card, but when I was going through this auction, Josh, and I was selecting cards to star and to look at tonight, I just love how his head takes up this whole darn card. Like, this might be the coolest image of Gretzky on a card ever. This might be this would be a great image for like an Intimidation Nation card, something like that, because look at him, or a subset in one of Upper Deck's brands called like In Focus or Focused or something like that. Intense. Like I love this card. I love now the design. It is what it is. 1990 O-Pee-Chee was fine for when it happened. The nice clean white border. I like it. It looks like a sticker a little bit too to me, Josh. Do you see a little bit of a sticker design in there?
Yeah, I do see that. And what I appreciate about this card is it's a great photo. It's a really
That's
great
what
portrait of the photographer took a beautiful photo. And if you want to appreciate just an amazing photo of Wayne Gretzky, it's a good card to have. And it never hurts that the Jofa is front and center, right? Greatest helmet of all time. So
Yeah, I think it's and it's not an expensive card. $30 right now in a PSA 10. Would you mind checking the population on this one too?
185.
185. So more than the earlier O-Pee-Chee cards, and it is not his main base card. I want to bring up Michael's comment here because he's exactly right. He says, I call league leaders, team leaders, award winners, highlights, record setters, all-star, etc. that are part of the base set subsets. Not just you, Michael. That is what they are called. They are technically called subsets. They are subsets of the main set, and that's what they've always been called. So that is correct. They're not insert sets or anything like that because they are part of the base set. They are a subset of the base set, and that's what they've always been referred to going back, 30 years now, I'd say, at least. We have the 93 Upper Deck base card Wayne Gretzky, but this is the gold 802 stamp version of it. Now, I don't know much about this card. I don't know if this is pack pulled from 93 Upper Deck, all-time goal scorer. Does anybody know what this card was? I don't know. Did it come out of the pack like this? I don't remember it. Josh, do you have any insight? How about the chat?
No idea.
Maybe the chat does. Perch said great card. I think he was talking about this one, Perch. Appreciate that. Linda, Michael, love that the Jofa is on full display. Yeah, so I don't know what this particular card is from, but it's interesting. And if someone knows, maybe someone will be curious and will want to make a play at it. And then finally on this row, 1995 Upper Deck Electric Ice Gold Yager, PSA 8.5, Pop 1, none graded higher. And this is another card that I remember the Electric Ice cards. They were inserts in 95 Upper Deck. Tough to hit. I don't remember much more about them, except that, I don't think I ever pulled one myself. And that's the Yager. So pretty cool card for a Yager collector. Michael says the goal stamped 803 was inserted into 93-94, and he means 802, was inserted into 93-94 Parkhurst. So what he's saying is that this card, while it was an Upper Deck card, was then stamped and then inserted into 93-94 Parkhurst. So thank you for that insight, Michael. Appreciate it. Okay, let's keep on rolling here, guys. We've got the 98 SP Authentic Sign of the Times, Wayne Gretzky, and I do believe this is the first Sign of the Times of Wayne Gretzky. So that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at the autograph. Pretty good. I mean, a little streaky, little light in places, a little bubbling in some places, but overall that auto is still there. I'd say it's pretty good. It grades a 9. Yeah, that actually makes sense to me. The card grades a 9, which is really good. But I do believe that's his first Sign of the Times. So a pretty cool card. Michael goes on to say silver versions were inserted into 93-94 on that Gretzky 802. Thank you. We also have, now these are not very special in that they're not like rare parallels or anything, but these are both Pop 2, 2001 Topps Mario Lemieux from a subset called Mario Returns. And here's one of them, and here's another one of them. Because, he returned from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma after taking a year or two off of hockey and came back and, was still great. These are pretty cool cards. I've never owned them. Josh, are you familiar with them? What do you think of them? And how do you like those blue borders?
They're very interesting. No, I wasn't familiar with them, but it's something I'll have to learn more about. And any Mario Lemieux card is a cool card in my mind, though. So a little bit different.
There's Darius Kasparaitis there with him in that one, and here he is waving to the crowd. Probably before or after the game, they were stoked to get him back. Second year Sign of the Times. Okay, thank you. All right.
Can I make a really quick comment, Jeremy, on the Gretzky sign of the times? That is something this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Upper Deck is at the point where almost in every single set they produce, they have a exquisite 0304 retro card and a Wayne Gretzky auto. And so I think that and they release 25 sets a year, that Wayne Gretzky plain days autos are, 10 years from now could have a real big distinction from all the other autos that are in every single, whether it's Synergy or SB Authentic or whatever set it is. And I look at this right now at $525, and that's about what the going rate for any random Gretzky auto in a modern set. And I don't know, I just think that that's something worth thinking about, is that he has very few plain days autos, and maybe that could be important down the road.
Maybe personally, the playing days is I don't care so much about that. I care about personally about the extent, but I know that playing days has been a theme, a category that collectors are using to distinguish between one era of cards and another. Mm-hmm. And doesn't impact me as a collector, but I can see why it would be important to others. Okay, here is a rookie year Ovechkin Ultimate Signature. Really cool card. PSA 9 at $850. We have a Flashback Fabrics Mario Lemieux 2006. These are out of 25. They're sticker autos, but Flashback Fabrics were out many, many years, and these are they're just cool. I like the theme of them. And then the 2007 O-Pee-Chee Premier Ovechkin Malkin Dual Auto. This is a PSA Authentic. It's a Pop 2, just one graded higher. So I guess only one actually has a numerical grade on it if there's two Authentics. Don't really care that it's graded or not. The card is awesome. Those are on-card autos, I believe. Yeah, you can obviously they're on-card autos, 23/75. And I mean, two of the greatest Russians of all time right there in 2007. So second year Malkin card, third year Ovechkin card. Pretty cool dual auto right there, guys. Okay. Jake Dahl wants to know if I think there are some autoed Lemieux in that. Ken Summoner says, amen. He likes the playing day autos. And T-Dot says, glutted the market with autos. I don't know. Not Gretzky autos. Upper Deck is actually they're quite conservative with how many Gretzky autos get out there in the more recent products. But they have to include them. I mean, he's one of their spokesmen.
They do them as super short prints typically. So to try to keep to have them in the sets, but to keep them down. I have a really quick comment, if you don't mind, on the O-Pee-Chee Premier Dual Auto. It blows my mind that a card like this doesn't have more interest. So we do story posts every week for the PWCC auction, and we're able to track clicks. I think we get a lot of clicks on the cards we select. We got one click on this card, and I look at the price. I think that these O-Pee-Chee Premier Dual Autos from that era are some of the nicest cards and really interesting players together. And like you said, too, we hear so often about how Malkin is underrated and how he should be thought of higher than he is. And so, like I said, it surprises me that a duo from 2007 with Ovi and Malkin out of 75 hard signed is $250 right now.
Yeah. Good point. I do agree. Want to say hello to Rome Rant from Edmonton. What's going on, Rome? And Ken Sumner clarifies, I don't give priority for play. Okay, Ken, we're on the same page there. Thank you for clarifying. Boston Swayman says those Flashback Fabrics were so hard to hit out of XBX too. Yeah, they're out of 25. So they were. I remember those were hard to hit. I remember the yellow background year. It looked like something right out of the 70s. Was definitely one of my favorite. Peeps, yes, Gino, Evgeny Malkin is definitely a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that for sure. Okay, let's keep on rolling. We have 2007 Sidney Crosby SB Authentic Limited out of 100. Not a very valuable card, but out of 100. A Crosby out of 100 from SB Authentic 2007, a third-year card. Wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. Now, here's a special card. Dual scripted swatches from 2007, the Cup, Gretzky and Lemieux. The card is an 8.5. The autographs are 9. Whatever. It's a great card. Pop 1 in this BGS 8.5 holder with none higher, but only 5 copies made. And back in the early days of the Cup, and during those days, these dual scripted swatches out of 5 were some of the most sought after limited cards from the Cup. These were some of the first, according to my recollection, some of the first cards to really get into the thousands of dollars to purchase back in the 2007, 8, 9, back in those years. And this would be one of the, if not the best one possible back then, being Gretzky and Lemieux. This card is currently sitting at $4,000, which is $4,800 with buyer's premium. So USD, of course. Big card right there. Really big card. And the third year Crosby enshrinements auto from the Cup. It's grading out a PSA 6. Beautiful auto on this. I'll show it to you guys right now. Right there. Actually, I'm gonna retract that. It's actually getting a little bit of that dark blue that I'm not a major fan of, but it's still, the auto is there, but it's not, it looks like it's had some sun. It's had a little bit of sun exposure, I believe is the case on that one. Grades out a 6 on the card, number 36 of 50. And as I look for the condition, must be something on the back. I can't see why this card is graded so low, but tough to tell right there. Josh, your thoughts on these guys?
Yeah, kind of a cool Crosby card on the SB Authentic Limited. You're right, it's out of 100. I think it's a nice looking card, so it should be pretty cheap if you want to add that to your Crosby PC. I find it funny on the Cup dual scripted autos that to grade any autograph on fabric, I don't even know how you do that. So
I don't know. I don't know either.
And I say that to say I wouldn't be the fact that is a 9 auto grade wouldn't distract me at all, or
me neither. No.
From this particular card.
Okay, these are cool. 2008 Fleer Ultra Ice Medallion out of 100. You don't see these very often for whatever reason. $34. This card is raw, but numbered out of 100. I just think they're neat. I think it's a project, I don't need a new project right now, but I could see somebody taking on a project like this, doing the ice medallions each year of the key players, the Crosbys and Ovechkins and that kind of thing. Pretty neat card. Again, just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. We've got the 2010 Cup scripted swatch, the single, here's the dual up here where he's with Gretzky. Here he is solo. Beautiful 3-color swatch actually on this one. 29 to 35 copies made, BGS 9, Pop 1. Really nice card at $470 right now. Again, take a look at it. I'm going to quickly, the Ice Medallion just got a bid. Take a look at this and just see that's a nice swatch. Autos don't lay down perfectly on fabric, as you can see, but the auto is there. Still pretty cool. And then a 2013 SP Game Used Supreme Sticks, Sidney Crosby. Only 12 copies were made. They're up to 15 now, and they have been for several years. But in the first couple of years of Supremes, they did 12. And this is 12 of 12. Really cool. Look at that stick piece there. That is Game Used stick. Nice colors, nice design. Josh, before we get to you, I just want to call on that Peep says, love the Ice Medallions. And Michael as well. Love that classic Fleer Ultra logo, right? No, who doesn't? I hear you as well. Perch likes the medallions as well. And Dylan Randucci is joining us from Airdrie, which is about 10 minutes north of Calgary, where he is working right now. I went to see him last weekend to buy some cards from him at the show. All right, Josh, some comments on this, and we're going to try and see how many cards we can get through, guys. 20 minutes left in this first all-access extended bidding level, and then it's going to start going faster. So, Josh, I'll hand it over to you.
Big fan as well of the Ice Medallions. And then there's a number of, I think, really interesting Supreme Stick cards in this week's auction. Yeah, I think I pulled up a few of them. And here's another one, 2014 Sid Supreme Sticks, also out of 12, so you can pick off 2 of them right now. Two Sidney Crosby Supreme Sticks are yours for the taking.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What, $230 for this one and $145 on this one? I don't know why, except that maybe somebody already has the 2013 and is now only needs a 2014. Not sure the price. There shouldn't be really. I don't think there's any reason for that price differential, except for who needs what when, and that's the case. 2014, the Cup, Wayne Gretzky. This is the base tag auto parallel at a 3, red foil. Really cool. I believe that's maybe it's not a tag. Maybe they're calling, actually, I guess they're calling it a patch here.
You know what it is, Jeremy?
What's that?
It's a laundry bag.
Oh, it's from his equipment bag, right?
Equipment bag, yeah.
From the equipment bag. Yeah, I've had a few equipment bag cards of his before too. It's the equipment bag. That's pretty cool. It's different. I mean, it's not, it's different. You got to, get your head around that, but kind of neat, I guess. Nice looking card though. I don't mind the looks of this at all. $3,600 right now, guys. BGS 8.5, auto grades at 10, only 3 copies, Oiler card to boot. And then your MVP from yesterday's All-Star game, Austin Matthews, Young Gun in an SGC 9.5 holder at $390. Josh, over to you.
Well, to me, the most interesting one is the Gretzky, the equipment bag. And it is something to get your head wrapped around. I kind of get it. The game used or player worn or player used, any sort of memorabilia from Gretzky's playing days, I've got to be pretty slim pickings, I would assume, at this point. And so I'm sure Upper Deck is trying to take what they can get. And yeah, now the thing is that is it fair to still call it a patch? That's the one thing that I've been thinking about with this card. And could that be misleading to someone that did not take the time to read the back of the card and see that it's an equipment bag?
Well, okay, so it says up here, Beckett is calling it a tag. So
Okay.
maybe it's a tag, like it's mesh. So I'm confused what it is, but here, let's open this up and look at the back and read it so we can see exactly what it says here. An Oilers equipment bag. The memorabilia was an oil. At least they say what it was, an Oilers equipment bag. So Beckett is calling it a tag. Upper Deck is calling it a equipment bag. And PWCC is calling it a patch. I think PWCC just uses the terminology patch for any memorabilia, literally.
Sure.
Any memorabilia. It's clearly not a patch, though. Well, maybe it is. I mean, I don't know anymore. I mean, to me, a patch is this thing here. Like a patch that was embroidered or that was sewn onto a jersey. That is a patch. That's what I grew up with a patch being. This is more like an iron-on or a printed piece of some printed with that. Is that a K for Gretzky on the bag? I don't know. Anyway, let's keep on rolling. A beautiful, absolutely stunning Mario Lemieux all-time greats master collection copper out of 20. I just think this is a beautiful card. Let's just go back this way, guys. Let's close this and this, and let's look at it this way instead so we can zoom around. First of all, gorgeous autograph. Just a beautiful card with this copper foil. Love it. And you don't see these very often. Tough to find. We have a trilogy Hall of Fame induction puck auto, Patrick Waugh. He's wearing his Hall of Fame jacket. Kind of cool, $125. And the Matthew Tkachuk O-Pee-Chee Gold Seismic, not a rookie, second year, sitting at a whole $14. But I'm a Tkachuk fan. Josh, what did you think of this Lemieux all-time greats card?
I am not a fan of portrait cards like this, but I do acknowledge this is a very, very nice card. So if it's a card that speaks to you, I can imagine that you would like this one a lot. And I love the Oli Lefsaw autograph on there from Mario Lemieux. It's the ink is perfect. The foiling looks great on the card. So yeah, it's just not my personal cup of tea. The interesting one that we talked a lot about on our show is the Patrick Waugh, where I take umbrage with it. It's kind of a cool card. It's him you're going to the Hall of Fame. He's got his Hall of Fame jacket. The autograph is nice, but the puck is manufactured. And I'm just so anti manufactured. And maybe I just have a hang up over it and the problem is me. But what I told Troy in our show is I think I would rather have it just be an auto on the card.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, see, it doesn't bother me that it's a manufactured something that's meant to look like a puck. Because the alternative would be, as you said, just have a black circle there and autograph over that, which would be okay too. But this is I think it's kind of cool. It's, it's not an actual puck. It's not a game used puck by any means, but it's meant to look like a puck. And I don't know. I think it's neat. Listen, I think it's neat, but I don't have any of these in my collection. I'm not a fan of these cards, but I understand it. I can see how some people are, and I know some people are, but I also hear your point of view as well. And it's a share. A lot of people are just anti anything that's, manufactured. I just kind of respond to that by saying these are simple design elements. It's just a use of the real estate on the card. And the alternative is nothing. And maybe if that's what you prefer, then great. You have a lot of options out there to find a Patrick Waugh autograph that is not this one in particular. So, there's going to be different things are going to appeal to different people. And that's why there's so many options these days. And they have to meet their licensing obligations as well. So their royalty obligations as well. Dylan, I don't think we're looking at that card tonight, actually. Michael says the equipment bag had a Nike tag on it, and I think that's from the bag's tag. Okay, that's interesting. It's a screened Nike logo onto the bag. Very cool. And Boston Swayman, why can't they just put a 50-cent puck in there instead? Yeah, well, I'm sure there's a reason why. Just logistically, there's probably a reason why. They probably ordered these things already sliced instead of producing an actual puck, which is probably harder to slice, I would think. Okay, a couple of those gold spectrums that we talked about at the top of the program. Crosby's from 17, two of them from 2017. These are numbered out of 50. And a Brock Besser SP Authentic Future Watch Auto in the middle of the Vancouver Canucks. They are doing great. They just picked up Elias Lindholm from the Flames. They are poised to go on a run this year, you guys, the Canucks. And Besser's a key part of the team. Nice card right there, BGS 9. The auto is a 10. Before Josh, you go on, I'm just going to say, everyone who joined more recently, welcome to the show. And I'm going to put my affiliate link in the chat again and ask you, if you are bidding on anything tonight, to please copy the link that you see, paste it into a browser, and it'll leave a bit of a evidence that you did that. And then we'll receive a small Sports Cards Live. Myself will receive a small commission if you do purchase something. And PWCC will know that we're doing a good job here. So thank you in advance for that. And for anybody who's done that over the past few weeks, I greatly appreciate it. Okay, Josh, any comment on these gold spectrums or the Besser?
I've joked actually a lot with whether it be Billy or Tony at Upper Deck that, and even more so today, they're making these bounty cards so nice that in a lot of cases, it's almost a shame for people to basically wreck them in order to redeem the code on the back to participate in the bounty program. And then the other thing that I've thought of for a long time about bounty programs in general, well, it looks like maybe this one is not a bounty.
Well, I'm thinking that's what I'm looking at. I'm guessing, Josh, that these are actually the redemptions. This is probably from what you got by sending in the bounty.
Well, okay, that is, you're probably right. And my next point was going to be, we never see the bounty redemption cards. I was just going to say that for all the cards that I look at on a day-to-day basis, that you have these and I've always kind of wondered if people spend so much money or work so hard to complete the bounty program that they just hold on to them for life, or because you tend to not see them come up very often. So that is very interesting that they would potentially be available tonight.
Yeah. Well, Rome says, I'm trying to win too. Please stop showing them. Rome, if you use my link, use the affiliate link, we'll stop showing them. Okay. Here's the Ovechkin right there from 2017 as well. They are cool cards, and they're only, you had to complete a bounty program. You had to send in those bounty, or you had to plug the codes in the website, and then you get a complete set of these with all the same serial number. So you get, if you got the first one, you have 1 of 50 for all the cards in the redemption set. and somebody's breaking them up and selling them. Pretty cool. Supreme Sticks, Connor McDavid, numbered out of 15 from 2017. Nice looking piece, sitting at $175. And a 2017 Splendor Leon Draisaitl auto patch out of 22. Looks like the auto is a little streaky, but not that bad. Well, a major streak across the top. Another big one here, but I don't know. Like I don't think it's definitely not fading. It's just the way he autographed the card. Nice 3-color patch. So there is definitely that available tonight for everybody. Josh, any comments on the Splendor or the McDavid?
Yeah, I really like the McDavid Supreme Sticks. I've spent a lot of time looking at this card. I'm pretty sure that, or one of the things I really appreciate is that it's the same stick in the photo as it is in the swatch. So I think that adds I can't be 100% sure, but to me that adds a cool element to the card.
Lantern says that is super common for Draisaitl autos, so it must be the way that he actually signed. So thank you for that, Lantern. Helpful comment right there. And I felt like it seems familiar to me. Here's another Matthew Tkachuk gold seismic. This is 2018, so you can grab his 2017 up over here, and then you can grab his 2018 seismic right over here if you'd like. The 2018 Crosby Spectrum Gold from SP Authentic. And then we have the 2018 Upper Deck Sub-Zero Connor McDavid autograph of SGC 9.5. The autograph gets a 10, sitting at $410. That's a respectable amount for a Sub-Zero, I believe. Again, a card we don't see very often. It's acetate. They're really nice. I like the Sub-Zero Golds myself. Pretty cool row of cards right here. Josh, how do you like the Sub-Zero?
Yeah, I think that they're actually a really nice looking card. And if you wanted just to have a McDavid auto, that this would be a really cool option.
Yeah,
and pretty good grade.
Well said. A nice looking auto. A couple of mega patches from Upper Deck Premier. We got the Draisaitl here out of 22, and we have the other Draisaitl here also out of 22. This is 16 of 22. You see the orange there, and this is numbered 15 to 22, part of the R and the S from the right side of the chest logo on the Oilers jersey. So pretty cool pair of Leons right there for you. And then the third Matthew Tkachuk seismic gold. Outside of the 16 rookie, you can grab all of the Tkachuk seismic golds tonight. That's a pretty unique opportunity. Another Crosby Spectrum FX Gold right here from 2019. And then 2 Draisaitl Supreme patches from 2019 SP Game Use. I have a small Supreme patch collection in my PC. Small, maybe 15 cards, so not that small, but not a couple hundred or anything like that. I had a lot at one time. I purchased a whole whack of them. I'm down to a few. These are nice. It's an all-star patch. And, you can pick up number 4 of 15 here and number 3 of 15 right here. If you want to pair, this one is, to me, the better of the two. Josh, I mean, that's obvious, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. The one on the left has a more interesting patch, but I like the orange kind of backdrop on the one on the right too. So I'd be happy, I think, with either of these cards.
I agree. I like the orange background on the one on the right, but this one to me is easily, for me, the superior copy. You can see it's the San Jose, says San Jose there. I think this is the All-Star Skills competition, so he would have worn this during the skills competition. It's nice that you can see that right there. I think that's really nice. All right, guys, here is another Tkachuk seismic gold. So you can get his 17, 18, 19, and 20. You can get all 4 non-rookie seismic golds. Maybe the 21 is coming. I don't remember. Here tonight, $15, and another pair of Spectrum FX golds from SP Authentic Redemptions out of 50, the Ovechkin and the Crosby. So pretty cool. Oh, and this one just got a bid, which is good to see, guys. 4.5 minutes left in this first half-hour extended bidding window. So notice all these are green. They're going to go to the next window. This one is not. This is in orange. It needs a bid. Anything in orange needs a bid to go to the next window, or they will be over at the top of the half hour mark here. Here's a Draisaitl Spectrum FX out of 50, a Gretzky auto from Upper Deck Clear Cut, nice Oiler image, nice auto. Let's take a quick look at it. Beautiful autograph, laid down quite nicely. It's from Champs, or the design is Champs. While it is from Clear Cut, it's a Champs homage, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't love listen, I'm sure a lot of people do. Personally, I'm just going to share my own opinion, Josh. I don't love this design. I don't like that faded out background as much as maybe I like it when it's faded in. And I know, I'm probably in the minority. I probably have the unpopular opinion here, but it's just my taste. How do you like the design, the aesthetic of this card?
There's lots of cards in Clear Cut set that I really like. I've never been a fan of the Champs designs. If I bought, Clear Cut is a 1-card box. If I bought a box and I pulled the Champs card, I would be, I would be happy with the Gretzky auto no matter what it is. But that's not the card brand that I'm trying to pull out of there. It just doesn't do it for me. But it's a beautiful auto. What I think too is this could end up being a little bit of a discount, because I think I would have rolled the dice if I would have graded that card and graded the auto.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why the auto, well, not everybody graded the auto back.
I got you.
Now I guess I probably would, but anyway, nice card. There maybe is that opportunity. $370 right now. And then we have a Clear Cut Jason Robertson Young Gun in a BGS 9.5 sitting at $220. Pretty cool card. The same image as his actual Young Guns. So pretty neat. And Robertson isn't having quite the year he had last year, but that often happens. And I'm not too concerned about him. I think he's still one of the good young players in the NHL. These cards here, I just wanted to show them. There's several of them in the auction. I think each player has 4 different color schematics. So here's 2 of the Crosbys, and here's 2 of the Ovechkins. And they're not expensive. They're from Fleer Ultra. They're called Pop Culture. They're kind of neat. Cards I just want to bring to everybody's attention. They're sitting at $9, $8, and so forth. Josh, have you seen them? What is your quick opinion on these?
I am a huge fan of Fleer Ultra, and there's a part of me that wonders, kind of going back to the 2012 Fleer Retro set, and given that this 2021 Fleer Ultra was an e-pack exclusive release, it was not in hobby boxes, which kind of bums me out. And there's so many kind of cool cards in it, and I just wonder if there's a handful of these cards down the road where you could have some inserts that are really some pretty big chases. And I'm a big fan of Andy Warhol, and so I don't know if these cards. I have a few of them. I have a couple of the Kaprizovs because I'm a Minnesota Wild guy, but I really like them.
Well, they need bids in the next 50 seconds, or they're going to sell for $9, $9, $8, and $8, and there are plenty more available in the auction as well, guys. 2021 Leaf Lumber complete stick Gordie Howe, numbered out of 4. I mean, we got to look at this thing. Stick, blade, and tape. 4 of 4. Nice picture. It doesn't scream Leaf to me. It doesn't scream unlicensed to me, but it's also it doesn't scream like Upper Deck either to me, which is fine because it is an Upper Deck. But the memorabilia is what's important here. You're getting 3 different parts of a Gordie Howe stick, numbered 4 of 4, and $25. And it's about to sell right now, guys. The first level of extended bidding is now over. And you can see this Gordie Howe sold for a measly $30. And you're getting 3 pieces of his stick in that. I think that's really, really cool. Precious metal gem, Patrick Kane from 2021 Metal Universe, the green out of 10, $82. So this card is out of 10. You can see even NBA puts it there, while the back of the card and PWCC put out of 100. And I think that's selling it a little bit short because the card is definitely only out of 10. But a really nice card there. I just want to see how many rows we have left here. How many cards? 3, 6. Okay, 9 more to get through here. I'd like to do that, Josh, if we can in the next couple minutes. So let's just skip those. I'm just going to run through these ones. If that's jump in if there's something you really want to point out.
The only thing I want to mention on the Gordie Howe quick, Jeremy, is I don't love this card, but I love the concept. And it's something that it would be interesting for Upper Deck to do something similar in a licensed card.
Yeah, fair. In the Game was famous for it with their complete jerseys and they also did complete sticks, complete packages. They did those are cool cards as well. All right, we have the 2021 PMG Reds. The Draisaitl, the Ovechkin has sold for $113. The Draisaitl still alive, and the 2021 spec. So they changed the looks of these Spectrums in 2021 for a white border with gold on the inside of the inner border. $18 on the Crosby there. I saw the Kane just got a bid, so we need bids on anything red to go into the next level. Here's the McDavid Gold Spectrum at $29. A Marc-Andre Fleury Lake Tahoe net cord card. This is pretty cool. Numbered out of 5, $74 right now. Really cool. And a Leon Draisaitl high gloss Upper Deck parallel, numbered out of 10, number 10 of 10. A nice rare McDavid parallel right there, you guys. And then in the last row, this Pasternak Marvel PMG blue has sold for $198. Crosby Hot Shots Raw at $40, and the Draisaitl Jambalaya sold for $42 from 2022. It seems to me like the Jambalaya concept is dead now. The more they put out, the more they just become things that people aren't caring about so much. If a Draisaitl sells for $42, that's a sign, I think, to Upper Deck to put a cap on the Jambalayas for at least a few years. Okay, let's go to the top, guys. Let's see what has sold. 2 minutes left in this window. The Gretzky O-Pee-Chee 7 sold for $37.20. The Bork Tops PSA 9 $468. Gordie Howe 62 Parkers needs a bid to go. The Yzerman needs a bid. The Coffee sold for $540, and the Yari Curry is still alive. It's at $18.25, and it's going to go into the next window. All three of these cards need bids, including the Lemieux PSA 9 O-Pee-Chee rookie with above average eye appeal to $2,400. These all need bids. The Jagger Electric Ice, the Gretzky 802 goals, and the Gretzky All-Star subset card from 1990. The Sign of the Times is going to go. One of the Lemieux has sold. The other one still is alive. The rookie year Ovechkin Ultimate Auto sold for $1,020. Meanwhile, the Lemieux Flashback and the Dual O-Pee-Chee Premier Ovechkin Malkin need a bid. And someone mentioned not too long ago in the comments that these guys were drafted 1-2 in 2004. Number 1 right here and number 2 in Malkin. So pretty cool right there. I forget who made that comment, but thank you for that one. We're going to see this go into the next level. The SB Authentic Crosby Limited. The dual scripted swatches of Gretzky and Lemieux needs a bid in the next 38 seconds to go into the next level, or it's going to sell for $4,100. And it looks like the Crosby enshrinements just got a bid. The Electric Ice Ovechkin's going to go. The Lemieux needs a bid in 25 seconds. And the Supreme. So the Supreme here, Crosby's up to $175, and this one's up to $260. They're both going to go to the next window. The Gretzky out of 3 from the Cup, the equipment bag, the Nike logo, the patch sold for $4,320. The Lemieux auto did $98. That's cheap, guys. That is too cheap for that Lemieux auto, in my opinion. The Patrick Waugh sold for $150. I don't think that's too cheap. And this window has now come to an end, and we'll see what else is sold. Looks like some Spectrum sold for $35, $45 here. The Besser, Josh, $98 for an SP Authentic Future Watch Auto Brock Besser. I mean, that's just cheap. That just seems cheap to me, guys. All right, the McDavid Supreme Stick sold for $210. Everything else is alive there. This Spectrum Crosby did $50. The McDavid Sub-Zero Auto from Ice did $492. The 2 Draisaitl Mega Patches from Premier both sold. $81 for this card and 110 for this one. I personally like the one with orange better, but this is cool too.
Yeah.
They're both very cool. Both very cool. The Spectrum did 35. The Supreme Drysidles are still alive, and they're alive again. Going to go to the next window. Kachuk needs a bid. The two Spectrums here, $18 for the Ovechkin out of 50, and Crosby is at $35. Crosby cards seem to have overtaken Ovechkin now. Rome Rand says, got the Ovi Malkin. Your fault, Josh Jeremy. Oh, so sorry, Rome. Did you use the affiliate link, Rome? Did you use it, buddy? Come on. Okay, let's keep on going. Sale here on the Draisaitl. The Gretzky Champs Clear Cut sold for $528, and the Robertson Young Gun Clear Cut did $276. These pop culture cards have all sold for $11. We saw the Gordie Howe $30. What a steal that is. Kane is still alive at $88. Ovechkin, we've seen these guys as well. The high gloss Draisaitl did $67. And that's it. So let's go to the top, Josh. And I mean, a couple more up here might have sold since we scrolled by them earlier, but we're going to sacrifice that. We're going to hit refresh and see how many cards are left. We're going to go to some comments, and then Josh, get you to say a few things because I've been going here nonstop for a few minutes. We have just under 3 minutes in this level, guys. So we have a few moments available at this time. So, wow, look at you guys. So Daniel A says the Lemieux PSA 9 rookie is a steal. 50-50 centering from what I see at the front. Gorgeous. Yeah, he is talking, guys. Where did that card go? Did it sell? Oh, yeah, it sold. I don't think it had sold last we looked. Here it is. It sold for $28.80. Yeah, great buy on that card. 90 says, did you guys ever see the Warhol Gretzky portrait? Nah, not that I know. A steal right now. Yeah, I think it stayed there, Daniel. Michael says Gretzky was painted by Leroy Neiman. Kendall says, hey, Jeremy, I grabbed a Carey Price Silver SP Auto from 2012 Prism. Were you aware of that set? I was shocked when I saw it scrolling through a marketplace on Discord. Yes, I was aware of that set, Kendall. I was aware. Perch was slow logging in, missed out on a couple I wanted. Dang, next. Oh, sorry, too bad. Sorry about that, Perch. Next time for always more cards, Perch. There's always more cards. Again, Rome, congrats on that dual auto. Really, really cool cards. Sitting here watching the Grambies until you guys hype me up. Hilarious. Okay. All right, guys. So here we are, a minute and a half left in this window. Josh, anything on top of your mind?
I really am curious to see if that Yari Curry gets any more bids. Just a big fan of that card and wish I was in the market or had the ability right now to go ahead and grab that. And other than that, it seems like that it's going pretty fast this week. That pretty fast and furious.
I feel like
do you have a
sorry, I feel like it was at $1,875 when we last looked at it. Now it's up to 21, so still getting bids.
Yeah. And then when are we gonna? Do you have a pick yet for last card standing, or too early?
Let's see how many we have left here. So we've got these three. Curry's gonna go. Howe and Jagger need a bid. Curry just got another bid. Crosby and Lemieux are gonna go. Gretzky, Sign of the Times, needs a bid. We need bids on these two. Supreme is going to go. Supreme needs a bid over here. Kachuk's going. Ovechkin needs a bid. These all need bids. These are going to go. This Kachuk needs a bid. And then we're down to five more here. These are going to go. This needs a bid in 15 seconds. And these two need bids. I'm going to pick your Yari Curry. That's my pick for last card of the night. What about you?
I don't know why I'm gonna go with the Patty Kane PMG green.
Hey, good, go for it. That's a good one to pick, I'd say. Okay, so now we've had more cards sell. Not the Patty Kane, it is still alive. So let's see what is sold, and we're gonna tell by going above here. The Fleury Netcore did $88. I think that's a cool card. Crosby Hotshots, 48. Crosby Spectrum, $22 right there. Kachuk, 19. 186 on Draisaitl Splendor. The two Kachuk Gold Seismics only did $19. The Spectrum Ovechkin 45. The second Supreme Crosby does 312. The first one's at 185. I could see this one getting closer to that, to this amount here. I could see it happening. The Ice Medallion Ovechkin only did $53. The Crosby Enshrinement, $630. The Sign of the Times Gretzky, $720. The Jagger Electric Ice, $35. And the Gordie Howe 62 Parkhurst did $432. So now let's refresh, Josh, push all the sold cards down to the bottom of our page, and let's see what we have left. Nine cards left out of 66 to watch. Kane is still alive for you, Josh. Draisaitl is still alive. They are green down here, everybody. They're going to go to the next window. The Draisaitl Supreme needs a bid. So does this Draisaitl Supreme. This Kachuk is still going. Needs a bid as well. Crosby Supreme needs a bid. They all need bids. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here in the next 3 minutes and 15 seconds or so. But if these cards don't get bids and they stay orange, they're all going to drop off. And we'll be down to the two PMGs, the Draisaitl and the Patrick Kane. And Josh will beat me in terms of picking the last surviving card. Oh, there we go. Here's a couple of bids just came on these two. Curry still needs a bid. We had a comment on the Curry here from Daniel. Says Curry just recently sold on eBay for $2,438. This Curry is getting a premium based on the eye appeal, as it should. As it should. This is a very nice card. We looked at it closely, Daniel, earlier, like at the top of the show, and it's a beautiful card. A beautiful condition card. The design isn't the best of O-Pee-Chee from the O-Pee-Chee days, but I have a soft spot for the 81 O-Pee-Chees in my heart. And Kendall snagged a Bo Bichette Bowman first blue out of 150 BGS 95 auto tonight, a Grail. Congratulations, Kendall, snagging a Grail for you. That is awesome. That is awesome. Love it. Way to go. Way to go. All right. So 2 minutes left here to see what's going to happen on these 9 cards that have sold. We've scrolled. Well, I'll just scroll through them again. This PSA 9 Yzerman did $396. Okay. Glad it didn't do too much more. This is a nice card for $312. I think, Josh, you told us that the pop on this was like 80 something, or
I think something around there. Yeah.
Yeah. 80 something. A decent card for someone who wants all the Gretzky card, all the O-Pee-Chee Gretzky's from the 80s, maybe want all the O-Pee-Chee and tops. A nice pickup right there. Coffee did $540. Fair. Yeah, the electric ice. I just don't know much about these. Like, I just don't know much about how much interest there is in them at this point in time. If the Jagger, it's an 8.5, but there's none graded higher, only sold for $35. It must not be that popular of a set.
They put electric ice parallels in extended still.
Well,
I think of Young Guns. If my memory serves me correct.
Oh, Jake Dahl snagged a 1983 Topps Mike Schmidt PSA 8. Congrats, Jake. Why not, right? Couldn't have been too expensive, I'm guessing. So nice to add a cool card to the collection where you just want the card. You're not really concerned about the value. Nice pickup right there. Daniel A. loves the 81 O-Pee-Chee. Glenn Anderson rookie is my favorite. Yari Curry, number 2. Phil Dahl, what's going on? Says, what are your thoughts on hockey growth going forward in the U.S. market? Well, Phil, I'll tell you quick. We kind of talked about it at the top of the show because the Olympics are coming back now for NHL players in 2026. And I just got to say that U.S. hockey is extremely impressive right now. It's not going to be long before it's better than Canadian hockey, unfortunately, for Canadians. All right, guys, final second. These 3 are going to go. Let's see if these 9 cards left, what happened. Looks like all 3 at the top row got a bid and are continuing. Curry is at 2,300. That's my pick for Survivor tonight. Second row, all got bids. The Supreme Stick Crosby is creeping up in value closer to the other one from earlier on tonight. And then these 3 down here, all 9 cards survived that 5-minute window, Josh. So my Curry versus your Kane we're still neck and neck here, but we'll see what happens. it's tough to think because the Curry is so much more expensive than the Kane, but this is a special Curry rookie card. Top 15, if there's 32 PSA 10s, and this is the top 15%, what is this? There 5 are this nice? Like, that's a low pop for being that high of eye appeal. So not low pop technically, but a very small amount. If you take the 15%, multiply it by the population, you're like 5 copies. That's not very many. So if it's one of the 5 nicest, that's a big deal. So if it's one of the 5 nicest, it's worth, I would say, a significant premium. If you agree with that assessment, which is up to everybody alone. So we already have bids on these two. 3.5 minutes left. The Draisaitl here needs a bid. All 3 of these cards need a bid still, except now the Tkachuk just got one. 2017 Tkachuk Seismic Gold just got a bid, and all 3 in the top row still need bids. I'll hover right here so you guys can see the color here. Oh, look at that. Another bid down there. Those blue glows indicate that a bid has come in. Let's go to some comments. Now the professor used the affiliate link and picked up the retro PMG red. Brad Marchand, thank you to the professor for that, as I've thanked you personally already, but I'll thank you again and again and again. Some congrats going around. Boston Swayman says, somebody be cashing in all those gold Tkachuks come playoff time. Yeah, maybe that guy turns it on when it counts. He's a money player for sure. Daniel says Canada can use one of the American goalies in the Olympics. Canada needs goalies. Yeah, for the first time really ever in international play, we don't have like a Fleury, a Luongo, a Brodeur, a Patrick Waugh to play between the pipes for us. Pretty crazy. Phil Daw says the Jets or Vancouver are bringing home the cup this year. Oh, wow, Phil. I'd be okay with either, but I'd be really okay if Winnipeg won the cup. That would be, hey, they just went and picked up Sean Monahan after the Canucks picked up Lindholm from the Flames. The Jets go and pick up Monahan from the Montreal Canadiens. That was a great pickup, I think. If he's healthy, especially, that's some depth on center. Monahan's a good player. Chris Perk, hey, bold statements, right? This is where you can make your bold statements here, guys. Make them because it's fun. It's fun. Josh, what do you think of all that?
Well, I guess I have a comment on the prospects of hockey growing in the United States. And I think there's a couple things really working in the favor of that happening. First thing I would say is the NHL, thankfully, is marketing the dog snot out of Connor Bedard, and he's in Chicago. So that is very helpful to growing the game in the US. And then the other thing is when you look at the young American superstars, they're very marketable. They're quirky and weird, and they have flair. They have attitude, like in the case of Matthew Tkachuk or Austin Matthews with his kind of style and look. You've got Jack Hughes, who's quirky. Trevor Zegras hasn't had a good year, but he's got a lot of flair. You got Will Smith probably coming next year, who's got a lot of style. And I just think that these guys are showing their personality more than hockey players traditionally have, and that will help to promote the game here in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm okay with American hockey getting stronger relative to Canadian hockey. I'm okay with it. And if you just think about the American players, the caliber of them, I mean, it's gotten so good, like, you know, on a per capita NHL basis. Back in the day, you know, you had Mike Modano, Brian Leach, Brett Hull, if you can even count him, because he was dual. You know, Pat LaFontaine, you know, there were some, but now it's stacked. It is stacked. Okay, guys, sorry, 5 seconds in this window. We need bids here. Yari Curry is about to go and be sold. It looks like Curry has been sold here, everybody. Yep, sold for $27.60. Lemieux return does $49. This Crosby's still alive. The Supreme Crosby did $234. We have these two still going, and this Supreme Draisaitl did $103. So this one sold, but this one is still going. This one did $103. This one's up to $155. Doesn't surprise me. The Kane. So Josh has won. He has won our Survivor tonight. Kane out survives Curry, and Draisaitl is still alive here as well. All right, we're going to hit refresh. We're going to go comments, and we're going to talk about American-born players again. I see you guys threw a few out there that I failed to mention. We're down to 5 cards left. We'll hover right here on the red. Chris Chelios, yeah, American-born. Joey Mullen, of course, Chris Perkins. Bad of me to forget Joey Mullen. Big fan of him. The professor won another card. Oh, says Josh and Troy highlighted these on the Gong Show and picked up the 2021 Provisions Cole Caulfield. Very cool. Yeah, we had some Provisions in the auction tonight. Phil Daw says there's also McDavid guy already priced to win 5 cups and 3 Conn Smythes. Yes, that is exactly the situation right there. Ogie says most young stars in the NHL are Americans. There are lots of them. There's no doubt about it. Boston Swayman, off topic. If you bought the 7980 Peachy case that is for sale right now, would you open at least a few packs? Absolutely not. You could not. And there's no way you're getting a 10. So no, absolutely not. I would not touch it. As soon as you open that thing up, I think it loses half its value. Boston. Well, maybe not. If you sell the boxes, you don't. But as soon as you open up a box, the value.
That's at least a $250,000 pack you're opening if you open up one, because you're for sure losing that. Yeah, there's no. It's going to be the most expensive brown cardboard box in history.
The value is based on it in its current form, not modifying it by opening it at all. You do the math, and if there's 768 packs or something like that, the packs are worth $1,000. That's only $770,000 right there. That's not close to $2 million. You open them up and you get your 27 Gretzky's out of that case, $200,000 maybe. Maybe 300 if you're lucky to pull in 9, which you're probably not going to. You open that thing up, I think your value tanks. But let's keep on going here. Larry won the Carter Hart PMG. Needed it for the set. Not sure how I feel about it right now. Yeah, it must feel a little bit weird to buy a Carter Hart card right now with the controversy and that he is in. Chris Perkins says here in Pittsburgh, amateur hockey is 10 times more popular than it was in the 90s. Love hearing that. Yeah, Quebec is no longer pumping the high-quality elite goaltenders anymore. Good point. Carey Price, I didn't mention him earlier. Lucas Schiller got the Provisions Kachuk. Congratulations, Lucas. Boston Swayman, I'm a little confused because they opened a case to authentic. Oh, they had to prove that they were in there. That's what that is. Prove that they are in there. It's different. It's different when it's them doing it and then they're resealing it. You need to know what's in these things. So technically it's cracked. Sure. But it's not, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Chris Perkins says, does the Hockey Hall of Fame focus in on cards at all? If so, they should buy this box and display it. There's no way they would spend that kind of money on that. I mean, it'd be ridiculous for them to do that. I think so. I think it's a bad investment myself. I just think it's.
Well, the other argument against opening it is, and we know that based on all the condition issues, these cards coming out of the pack, that it's almost inconceivable that there would be a 10. But let's just say there was, then the pop count increases and the value of all the cards go way down anyway. So even if you hit the lottery, so to speak, and got a 10, you would be killing the value by opening the case to begin with.
Yeah, you're right. Like the last 10 sold for what? 3.75 million. If it were to sell today, it's probably going to do, let's say, 2 million. I think that card would have come down in value quite a bit from when it sold at the peak. And now if you add a third to the population, that's not going to help any of them. Yeah, so I don't even know if you pull it, if you get a 10, but you're not going to get a 10. You're basically not. The chances are like a 0.3 of 1% or something like that you can get it. And it might even be less than that you can even get one. So I just don't think you're going to. Okay, guys, 15 seconds left here on this level. And looks like we are about to lose maybe just the Supreme Draisaitl. Four seconds left. Let's see what happens here. Looks like the Draisaitl has been sold for 186, but we still have 4 cards left. Josh and the Cane. Wow, I'm rooting for you now, Josh. I am rooting for you. All right, Michael says there is no card in that case that you cannot get right now. Opening it makes 0 sense. 100% agree. Opening it is, you're burning $1 million when you open that case. Boston Swayman says, yeah, even if it's a 10, PSA won't give it to you anyhow. Probably they probably won't.
There's that.
I believe that they will not. That's the one sort of conspiracy theory that I believe that. Yeah, I don't think that they would. David G, good evening. Picked up both Draisaitl All-Star skill patches. You did. Hey, David. I really like. Well, we talked about them. We really like both of them. Yeah. I like the second one a lot. Yeah. So where'd they go? Here we go. David picked up these two cards, everybody. I love this one, David. This one I like a lot too, but I much prefer this one. So what'd you pay? 186. Yeah, I mean 186 and 103. I think you did just fine. Just fine. You say, how do I make sure you get the credit? Too late now, David. You had to use the link and then place the bid. If you did it after, it's not. It can't help. But in the future, please use the links that I'll be providing. I appreciate that. And don't worry about tonight. I'm just glad that you're here. Phil Daw, that Gretzky case is perfect for degen breakers. No, is it really? I don't think there's any money to be made on that. I don't think there's any money to be made. So,
well, the other thing about it too is, let's say you pay $2 million for it. It's not like a card that you could put in a case or even a museum. It's a cardboard box.
You put it on a pedestal. You have light. You cover it in acrylic. It's literally like a statue piece. It's a display item, even though it's not that nice to look at. It's more or less, you're just showing what it is. It's like an 86 Fleer unopened case. Yeah. Whoever buys that, I hope they also have an 86 Fleer unopened case of basketball, because to put those two beside each other, where you know that this is the product where two of the most like two of the top 5 most iconic cards of all time are in those two cases, it would be really cool putting those beside each other. Really cool. Cass 99 coming through says, my wallet is much thinner watching you guys as I bid away. How the heck did I win 9 cards tonight? And you used the, thank you so much, Cass 99. Greatly appreciated. Name says, get the case box graded. Huge slap. Well, it's not graded. And I know you're Joe. I know your tongue-in-cheek name. But the fact that it has been inspected and wrapped by BBCE, and that whole process they did on video. So you know that this is a good case. And the provenance behind it's amazing. It kind of is slabbed, even though it's a soft slab, I guess you could say.
So have you forgiven them for the whole Logan Paul Pokemon?
The G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
I mean, do I forgive them? I never was in a position.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a tongue-in-cheek sort of. I didn't mean it that way.
Yes, I do. Yes, no. Let me keep it simple to your question, Josh. Yes, I forgive them. I forgive them because they are no worse than any other company in this space that's made a mistake. Whether it be a grading company, an auction house, a card company, they all make mistakes. We make
totally
mistakes.
Get that. I think the perception though is that you used to be able to trust it, kind of lock stock, right? And now,
but you can't. It was an opinion, right? And the thing is that in the Pokemon case, Steve Hart from BBCE, he went outside of his comfort zone and probably shouldn't have. And where I think that was an error in judgment by him. The reason why I forgive him for that, not that he cares what I think, but the reason why I would forgive him for that is because he's learned his lesson. I believe, and I've heard he's learned his lesson, and he's going to be better moving forward. So it's almost like the guy kind of was just de facto the go-to guy for authenticating an open product. And now he's got to be on his toes. And I think that makes me more confident using him in the future, because now he's got that one mark on his reputation. And if he wants to maintain his reputation, he needs to not make that mistake again. And I have faith that he won't. Josh, oh man, looks like the Kane has been
eliminated
for 115. And I got to tell you, there's no way I would have guessed any of these 3 cards to be our survivor. But guys, we're in the 1 minute windows now. The 1 minute windows, 3 cards left. Let's refresh, put them all in the top row. We'll keep on chatting while they wind down and end up selling. They all need bids as of right now in the next 35 seconds. Daniel A says the 1979 case is a pop 1. The value is there. It's a unicorn. The value is there. But what value? What value? Is it really worth over $2 million? Is it worth $3 million? Not to me, guys. Not to me. But I could be the biggest idiot, and that thing could be worth $10 million in 10 years. And then I would have wished I would have, borrowed as much money as I could to have bought it here this year. But I don't collect big brown boxes personally. I'll take an unopened pack. I have my one pack of that year, and that's good enough for me. The Kachuk has now sold. The 2017 Seismic did 32, and we are down to 2 cards, everybody. We are down to 2 cards. Boston Swayman says, if I could afford to buy the case, I would open it. So boring staring at unopened boxes. I would keep 2 unopened if I had the money to buy. Well, okay. And that's where I do agree. If I could buy that for $3 million and that $3 million would not change my life, my kids' lives, or my grandchildren's lives, I'd probably do it too. I'd probably open it up too. My great-grandchildren, they got to fend for themselves. But everybody else, I'd probably open it too and just have fun. Michael says, thoughts on the net cord cards. I have a 17-18 SPA Crosby, allegedly from the Stanley Cup. I think they're cool, Michael. I think they're cool. They're thick. I don't own any, but I haven't historically liked the design of them, but I like the design of the one that was for sale tonight. Guys, 2 seconds left. The Draisaitl PMG looks like that has sold for $62.40. And our sole survivor is the SP Authentic Limited Sidney Crosby from 2007, numbered out of 100, Josh. Not a big card at $36, but we'll let it play its way down. And Lucas Schiller says, same cat sold 4 cards. Think I used the link for them. Grab the 0-1 Tops Mario. Thank you, Lucas Schiller, for attempting to use the link. If you did, and if you didn't, that's okay too, guys. Listen, it's fun. It's not for me about generating these small commissions. They are legitimately small. And if you're buying a $10,000 card, please use my link. It'll be less than small. But it's more about PWCC knowing that we're bringing value by doing this show. It's a tracking mechanism. So it's not about receiving the money. The money it's nominal. I like it. Don't get me wrong, but it's really about showing PWCC that we are helping them, bring attention to these auctions. Okay, well, that's it. The Crosby Limited did sell for $43, Josh, but I'm going to do a couple more comments here. Chris says the Crosby Artifacts is, so we only, Chris Perkins, everybody else, just in case you may be confused, we only favorited. See, I have my favorites selected here. I favorited, and listening to Josh's podcast, I try and capture the ones that they talk about. 66 cards out of 192. We can't watch them all. It's just too many. So we picked the ones we like. 66. Some of them we didn't, and you guys are interested in some of those too. And please, if you ever want us to look at a card ahead of, just send me or Josh a DM ahead of time, and we'll make sure that we look at it for you guys during the show. We'll add it. We will, even though it might not be my personal favorite, I will favorite it for you guys. Just let me know, and we'll do it. Professor picked up the Leon Draisaitl red. Congratulations, Professor. Michael says Sid wins. He always does, being the survivor on the limited card. And Daniel A., good night to you, sir. Daniel, Professor picked up another one, the Patrick Kane green. Oh, agree. Sorry. Oh, but you picked it up, but you agree it's confusing. Yes. It stems. So what the Professor is getting at here, guys, is that the PMGs in Metal Universe, there are greens and reds, but they're all numbered to 100. But we know, based on the way it works, the first 10 are green, the last 90 are red in most cases. That's how it works. But the back of the cards are numbered out of 100, and PWCC puts in their auction titles out of 100. And if anyone from PWCC is listening, I wish you would start putting what they are really out of, because if I'm the consigner to consign this card, and this has happened to me as a consigner before, you're not sharing the full picture. And I think we're potentially, as a consigner and as PWCC, I think we're leaving, we being the consigners, and for PWCC, you're leaving some money on the table if people don't know. And not everybody knows that that's the way it works. So it is confusing, Professor. It is confusing. Josh, I'm not to delegate, but I would be really interested to listen to an episode of the Gong Show and have a breakdown of how the PMGs in hockey have bin numbered, because you might also remember, and I think it's the 2013 PMGs, like the Reds are out of 10, the Blues are out of like 25, and the Reds are out of like 65 or something like that. That's another one where it was just different. And
they're all over the place.
They're all over the place. So it's very confusing. They did, like, Upper Deck just mixed it up for whatever reason. And it's tough. It can be tough to follow. So you really need to do your research if you're looking to, if you care. If you just want to buy the card, who cares? Buy them. But if you really want to know, you need to do your research. Phil Daw makes a great analogy here. He says it's similar to the Future Watch autos that are inscribed. So Future Watch autos are numbered out of $9.99, but the first 50 are often inscribed, but they're numbered out of $9.99 too. Mm-hmm. It's an inscription. The colors are the same, whereas it's similar, but it's not a perfect comparison, but it's a good one. I thank you, Phil Daw, for bringing that to us. Good joke. Boston Swayman found a 52 Parker's case in his attic. Very good. Very good. And the professor picked up his first playing card, the 3 of Clubs Eric Stahl PSA 10. Yeah, those are cool. You pull like, 2 or 3 in every box of O-Pee-Chee playing cards. 4 maybe you get, I think. Or
it's O-Pee-Chee release week, Wednesday, 2023-24 O-Pee-Chee. So we have more Connor Bedard rookies hitting the secondary markets. And there's 52 players. It's all veterans, no rookies. And they're based on the pack odds get rarer as you get higher level cards. So 2 through 10 are the most common cards. Then you have Jack through King, I think, is another level. And there's 4 aces. And I think this year, like most years, it's Crosby, Ovechkin, McDavid, and Matthews.
Yeah.
And then a mascot will be Jokers. And the Jokers, I think, are the toughest odds.
Next year, we will definitely see Bedard with an ace. Who falls off? Matthews? I think Crosby?
I don't know.
Who falls off?
Ovi? I don't know.
Ovi? Any of them could fall. Not McDavid. McDavid does not fall. He does not lose his ace spot. Crosby could. Ovechkin could. Any of those 3. Crosby, Ovechkin, Matthews. I don't know who falls. You know what, Josh? That's another cool thing. That's another poll. The Gong Show. Not for my type of. For you guys, who should Connor Bedard usurp for the ace spot on next year's deck? Who would you like to see fall off between those 4 guys? That would be fun. And then tag Billy and Upper Deck, or whoever, if it's Tony that does the O-Pee-Chee set, so that they can see that too.
Well, if you went by what players' cards are sold the most, is Ovechkin would fall off. I think the top 4 are McDavid. No, it would be Matthews. McDavid, Bedard is number 2, and then Crosby and Ovechkin, and then Matthews is number 5.
Yeah, well, interesting. Well, we will see. Boston Swayman says, is Bedard honestly going to be better than Stamkos career-wise? I seriously don't think, and I feel like his stuff is way overpriced. Well, his stuff is overpriced right now. I agree with you, Boston Swayman. Don't know what his career will be like. If he could have a career like Stamkos, I think that would be great. Stamkos was the hobby darling for a long time too, don't forget. Back in 09, 10, 11 in those years. So Michael says, Jeremy's now producing the Gong Show. I love their content, you guys. I love what the Gong Show brings to our hobby space. We're fortunate to have these guys doing it week after week with a level of commitment that is just unmatched, really, in hobby content. And so
we have an interesting topic for tomorrow that I think that you'll like. So we did a big comparison of key cards values today versus pandemic versus pre-pandemic. Just to see where the hobby is.
I like that you guys think about these things. And the other thing is about the Gong Show is that the Gong Show is all about learning along with the audience. And that's why you guys are so likable. And I think it's because you resonate with so many people. And that's why when I have the idea about the PMGs, well, there's something that you could learn, you could help teach the hockey card community, because most of them are listening to the Gong Show. So I'm going to continue to feed you guys ideas. If you take the ones you like and discard the ones you don't, I'm good either way. But I think there's a good one right there 2. Shannock says Matthews on pace for 70 goals. Yeah. Yes, he is. Besides the M34. So, okay. We were going to do this earlier, and U.S. hockey has come a long way. So I just found a little list here. Austin Matthews, Adam Fox, Matthew Tkachuk, Charlie McAvoy, Johnny Gaudreau, Jake Gensel, Kyle Connor, Patrick Kane, Jason Robertson, Alex DeBrincat, Jack Eichel, JT Miller, Jacob Slavin, Connor Hellebuck, Chris Kreider, Max Pacioretty, John Carlson, Quinn Hughes, Jack Hughes, Brady Tkachuk, Joe Pavelski, Brian Rust, Trevor Zegras, Brock Besser, Clayton Keller, Zach Werenski, Dylan Larkin, Jacob Chikrin, Brock Nelson, and Torrey Krug. Guys, like that's 30 players. That feels unbeatable to me. Feels unbeatable. I don't know how Canada beats the US in 2026. I really don't.
Canada's pretty good too, but going to the goalie thing too, and there's a hobby element to this too, and I'm sure Boston Swayman guy will agree with this, is go look up Jeremy Swayman's career stats and tell me that he's not going to be, he's a little bit kind of splitting time with Linus Ullmark, which most teams tend to do, but holy cow, could he end up being a fantastic goalie? And you talk about even getting to the 2030 Olympics, right around that time, but I can imagine him and Hellebuck in 2026, and that could be an amazing combo.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I think they're just going to get better. Perch says Canada is winning. Well, I'll be cheering for Canada like hard, of course, but I'm going to be nervous. And then I will be relieved if they win.
Can I say one thing though, like maybe to stump the Canadian side for a second, even though I'm Team USA, I'm here in Minneapolis. A lot of is being made out of the world championships where, most of Canada's eligible players were not playing, right? You didn't have Bedard play. So there's a lot of like really, really good Canadian players that maybe would have made that tournament a little bit more competitive that just weren't there. Where I think most of the eligible Americans were playing, if my memory serves me correct.
Well, either way, I'm looking at a list of Canadians now. Crosby, Stamkos, Tavares, McDavid, Marchand, McKinnon, Tyler Seguin.
Makar.
Yeah, Makar hasn't hit my list because it's actually sorted by career points. It's just the list I found. So Makar's going to be a little bit further down. This isn't by like rank. Scheifele, Nugent Hopkins, Kadri, Marner, Pietrangelo, Point, Monahan, Riley Smith, William Nylander. William Nylander is Canadian. Bo Horvat, Marchessault. There must be Barzal, Morgan Riley, Gallagher, Konechny, Dubois, Makar.
That PLD trade was, as a Jets fan, you're thinking the hockey gods, because I don't know what LA was thinking when he's basically been, it's always the team, right? With PLD, it was
never him.
The Blue Jack. It's never him.
Morrissey, Shabbat, Devin Taves. I mean, I've been a Team Canada fan my whole life. I've never, ever felt like they were going to lose, ever. And I don't have that feeling anymore. I'm very concerned about you Americans, Josh. And it's
when
just
there's even some, you got to throw in for Team USA. I just have to, right? You have Adam Fox and Quinn Hughes. That could be a great first pairing. What about though, Jeremy? Maple Grove, Minnesota native, Golden Gopher captain, Minnesota Wild rookie defenseman Brock Faber, maybe Calder Trophy winner. Brock Faber could happen. He's second right now in Vegas odds.
Could happen. That'd be amazing if that guy, who I hadn't heard of before hearing you talk about him, several weeks ago, beats Bedard for the Rookie of the Year.
Well, that's just based on injury. I mean, that's the only way Bedard loses.
There's but there's still other great players, right? So, Cass says it's good being the underdog. Canada wins as an upset. Hey, I'll take it. For sure, Cass. Swayman says Belarus will win it all. All right, guys, listen, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for joining a fun Sunday night to kick off the February series of shows here, PWCC Hockey Weekly. Thanks you guys for watching, chatting along, bidding, and for using the affiliate link. So again, PWCC has sort of evidence that we are helping them out here with these shows. And that's important to us. So thank you very much. Michael says Canada has the edge up front. Defense is a wash, maybe slightly edge to the U.S., and the U.S. has a big advantage in net. Yeah, I don't know even about up front, though. I'm concerned up front myself. Mitch Grotman in the house was listening while doing housework. Mitch, keep on vacuuming, buddy. Keep on vacuuming. It looks good on you. Thank you so much, Michael. Says another great night of watching the auction. Thank you, guys. Good night, all. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody. It is Sunday night. Have a great week ahead, Andrew. All time.
Can't argue that.
All time. Thank you, guys. Josh, thanks to you. Thanks to the chat. Thanks to the bidders. Congratulations to the guys who picked up cards tonight. Congratulations to the sellers of cards tonight. Josh, I'll let you say goodbye, and then we're done.
All right. Have a good one, everyone. Have a great week, and we'll see you. Well, we're not doing next week. We should probably announce that right now.
Very important. Yeah, we will not be doing this show next weekend. It is Super Bowl. We're going to watch the Super Bowl next Sunday night, guys. So no show next Sunday. We expect to be back the Sunday after, but you can catch Josh on the Gong Show along with Troy. That episode drops about 6 hours from now. And check out the Sports Cards Live YouTube channel for all sorts of content throughout the week. With that, everybody, have a great week ahead. This episode of the PWCC Weekly Hockey Auction and Watch Party on Sports Cards Live YouTube channel featuring Josh Madigan of The Gong Show and myself is now over.